So it's really interesting how every single recording I've done with someone recently, either myself or one of the other participants has dropped out. So that's quite interesting, isn't it?
Well,
In
you
terms
want to
of
hear something you want to hear something even more interesting? I literally had a premonition, 2 seconds. I swear to you, while you were talking, I had this vision. I was like, something's gonna happen and we're gonna lose connection. And like 3 seconds later, God, it was a power went out in my house for like 3, 4, 5 seconds. It was crazy. Like I knew it was about to happen.
it's funny. I was on with Shanti and Mornay from South Africa today. And they were saying it's that obviously they in Africa have been experiencing being limited powers and having their power switched on and off for 10 years now. And of course, there's a good chance that could be coming to other people and the rest of people as well. And it's funny because when it happens, I'm just going to apologize to listeners. You never know when you're the person left on whether to keep talking or pause it, because some people come straight back in
Yeah.
and other people just drop out completely. So, but anyway, you're back. So before we finish, is there anything else in particular you wanted to cover today?
Yeah, well, I just want to go back to what you were saying about the children really quickly because we got cut out. I haven't spoken about this publicly yet, but I do have a son. My oldest is 17, and he did very well in school. He's about to graduate high school this year, is his last year, and he's one of the children that you talk about, like your son. He did exceptionally well in school. He never had a problem. Did He loved it. He loved school. It did just fine. And he's not programmed. He's a very intelligent, smart, wonderful, balanced, young man. And it suited him well. So it's what I'm trying to create. And I keep telling people, when I do interviews, this is all I'm trying to do is create an alternative education platform. I'm not trying to take over the whole system. I believe that there should be options though, and there aren't enough for those that don't do well because my younger two are not doing as well. And I've thought about homeschooling, but I'm terrible at teaching my own children and I have no patience. So like I know, let me stay in my wheelhouse, right? But they're not doing well. And so there's no right or wrong, no judgment. It's what's best for your child. And I just want there to be other opportunities available for those that do not do that well. But my son Jordan, he did great. He's fine.
Yeah.
He never complained, never had a problem in school. And my younger two, it's just not the same story for them. They're 7 years apart from my middle, and my oldest. So a lot of time went by, and the children that are being born right now are just, they're different. They're different, and I think that they're asking for change. But that doesn't mean that 100% of the children across the board, across the world, are gonna fit what I'm creating either. So, and I think that's the point of this conversation today, Catherine. Right? Like, nothing. There's no right. There's no
Yeah.
wrong. That's it. It's just about being dynamic. I feel like if we could create a humanity that is more kind and compassionate and empathic to one another, but very dynamic, so that I think we should have more choices and we shouldn't be controlled by, the powers that were. We should have the ability to create pockets of communities and do what work, because that's what the indigenous tribes and cultures have been doing for hundreds of thousands of years, back in Atlantis, back in Lemuria, before things became corrupted. They were thriving just fine for a while before the hierarchy started, and what's it called, technology,
Mm.
became a leverage. They worked just well with what skills they had, and I think that we need to get back to that. Working together as a large team as opposed to competition. I've been outspoken about this forever. I am the least competitive person you will ever meet. I don't care if I win. I'm all about like just having a good time. And then there are a lot of people who hate that about me, my husband included. He just drives him crazy when we play a game because he's like, I play to win. And I'm like, I don't care. If I win, I just want to have a good time. And I'm trying to teach my children that. And they joke about it too. One thing we inherited in this house that we just got is a pool table. They left it for us. And I was like,
Oh,
cool. And we've been playing like every night. I'm terrible at it, by the way. And my son, my middle son, he's the funniest kid you'll ever meet. His name's Skylar. And he's like, Mom, I know you don't play to win. and he jokes, but if it was dad right now, he'd be like, I'm playing to win. And like the point is that the kids think it's hilarious. They make a joke out of it in this house because they know who they're playing with and what they can expect. And I teach them, I just want you to have a good time. If you win, great. But if you lose, did you have fun playing the whole time? Because I feel like sometimes when we're in competition mode with anything in life, games, work, how much money we have, and people are constantly competing with everybody who has more stuff. Who cares, right? I don't care, but maybe they do. But it's, are you really happy? Is the journey happy for you? That's the thing that people need to think about. Did I have a good time in my life? Was the journey exciting and fulfilling? I don't, in my perception could be wrong, but I don't feel like a lot of people who are in uber competitive mode, working from ego, are really enjoying their life that much. I could be wrong, but what do you think?
I think it really depends. So, I've got family members who are really into competitive sport. Even within one team, you can see some people where it really ruins their day if they don't win, and others are doing it for the love of the feeling that they get when they do it. And even when they don't win, they've still had a lot good time and have taken the joy from it. There might be a little bit of disappointment, but that's different from being gutted and winning at all costs. So again, what I've seen is and I understand why you do it. Say if you're in an hour-long conversation, you have to simplify some things to get points across. So I completely get that. It's a bit like, when you're learning to drive, you teach someone that they have to have two hands on the steering wheel and do this. And once you can drive, you go like that. So I get that sometimes it's just simplifying it for simplifying's sake. But I think what really has to go is these assumptions that all competitive sports bad, that all successful people are unhappy, that all these assumptions are so ridiculous. I know some really happy successful people, and I know some really unhappy successful people. I know some really happy rich people. I know some really happy poor people. It's just about, for me, looking at, when I'm working with animals, it's so easy. Every animal is completely unique. And it's easy to look at that. Why we find it so difficult to humans and we lump them all together, for me, it's all due to the language. The fact that our dominant sense that we use to communicate is language, which has taken us away from the energy vibration. So perhaps we should all go mute for a year and see. We might evolve a lot quicker. I don't know. But I just think, for me, the overriding thing is to stop this generalization and look at every being, whether it's a tree, a spinach plant, a guinea pig, a human. Look at everyone as an individual and treat them with respect.
Yeah, hands down, absolutely. I agree. Everything else falls into place.
Yeah, everything else falls into place. And that's why I just love what you're doing so much, because all of this is just about choice. It's just about choice. And the thing is that's one of the biggest thing that I work when I'm working with animals, is how much, when we bring an animal into a human environment, we take choice away from them. Mm-hmm. And as humans, when we are treated like that, we know how stressful it is. So you could be the richest person in the world, but if someone takes your choice away from you, it's incredibly stressful, because it's disempowering. It's taking away your sovereignty. And we do that to animals the whole time. And I think when we get back to that little switch that switches inside of all of us, and it will do, it's just at different times when it's right for us to learn that lesson, is when we really realize that everything and everyone is connected, then a lot of these problems all go away.
Yeah, yes. And I think that's another big problem with parents treating their children in a disempowering way. You can give your children choices with boundaries. Children want to feel empowered, just like animals. They want to have choices. So, you just give them choices within a realm of possibilities that you're open to, and that teaches your children that they do have a choice. They do have a voice. It's okay for them to dislike certain things, and they feel like they're a little bit in control. And your child will change when you do that. And it could be the most simple things. Okay, these are the 3 things that you can have for dinner tonight. these are the three sports that we have the ability to put you in. You know, sometimes it's financial restrictions, sometimes there's a lot of variation. But if you give them choices within confines that you and your spouse or whoever you're with or by yourself can create for them, then they feel very, very empowered. And animals as well. You know, it's because when we grow up, if two people either come as a result of being controlled, they either consent and conform, and those are the people that just do everything they're told their whole life. And then there's others that come out and they rebel from it and they want to do exactly the opposite. I was the opposite. I was the rebellion one, meaning like I always had a problem with authority since I was a good kid though. I was nice, respectful, but I always had a problem with people telling me what I had to do. I didn't like people of authority. And I'm not talking about police. I'm talking about, you know, people who took advantage of their authority. I always knew it was wrong. I always was the one that stood up for people who were getting bullied. Now, I also got bullied myself, but I always stood up for the kids getting bullied. I didn't like how people would treat other people in such a domineering way or hierarchy. I don't like that. And I think we're trying to move away from that right now. And I think the children and animals, you and I, in our conversations, we always have find a way to bring everything back to children.
Everything back to children and animals. I know, right? Yeah. It's fantastic. It is. They've just got so much to treat it. Oh, you froze again there. So, I've so enjoyed this conversation today. We must do it again. It's fantastic. I'm so happy you're in Florida. It just sounds absolutely right for you guys now. And it's just fantastic that you've made that move, and now it's sort of onwards and upwards, isn't it? Just really recreating.
Absolutely. That's where we're at right now, and I can't wait for our next conversation. We'll try to plan something for next month or sometime soon. But thank you to everybody watching today. I hope that the tips that we gave you are helpful, and you know, just pulling us out of the negative energy and the negative drama. And we wanted to really put something forward today that was positive, uplifting, and hopefully helpful for everyone today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for anyone that's joined in this with us. You know, we're all we're talking through as it occurs to us, learning alongside everyone, and just really doing it from a place where we want to help and we want to all be, you know, living our best lives possible. So I'm sure we'll be back next month. Thank you so much, and speak soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.